Hello, welcome to Soulprint Insights. I'm so glad that you have joined me. My channel is doing amazingly well for such a young venture, just a little bit over a week old, and it's really doing wonderful, and I have each and every one of you to thank. So thank you very, very much. Your support means a great deal to me. Okay, so the last video I did was called Protect Yourself. And after I finished that video, I realized that there were some other sort of areas that I wanted to cover, other ways of protecting yourself, other things that you kind of need to be aware of when it comes to protecting yourself. So this is Protect Yourself Part 2, because I really, just sort of wanted to fill out that picture for you. So let's start here. The energy that emanates out from your body is called your aura. Some people call it your etheric. Some people, who are probably the most accurate, refer to it as your soul. We tend to think that our soul is hidden somewhere inside of us, but in fact, it is the energy that surrounds us, holds us together, and protects us. And so that's the energy that then is in some ways vulnerable to outside attack and energies. And it is also the energy that, if it is very light and very bright and very vibrant, can attract sort of energy, others whose maybe energy is not quite so light and bright and attractive. And so then it becomes more important that as you continue to lighten and brighten your own energy and your energy field, that you be very mindful that you keep protection in place, almost so that you don't attract the kind of lower energy that you really do not want to attack. So that is all part of protecting yourself, keeping yourself safe from harm, whether you are alone or in public, because energy is forever interacting with other energy. And almost all the time, it is really benign, right? You touch somebody just in the day-to-day course of events, right? You go to a hairdresser, you go to a physiotherapist, you're walking down the street and somebody falls and you reach and grab them. Well, in that reaching, grabbing process, you have your two auras have sort of merged, and then they just sort of separate and carry on along their ways. But sometimes when those things merge, they don't kind of separate and carry on. And that tends to happen more often with people the average stranger is really not likely to attach themselves to your own energy field. So when you are looking for protection, and let me be sort of expansive here and help you to realize that you can protect everything, like everything. You can protect your car if you are traveling. You can protect your luggage if you're going on a vacation. You can protect your home, your physical environmental space. You can protect the things on your property. Before I moved to central Alberta, I lived on a property in Ontario that had amazing, beautiful, tall trees. God only knows how old these things were. They were like really, really old. And there was this one tree that was so tall, and it really would sway in windstorms. And literally, if I knew that there was a storm coming, I would call out and ask Archangel Michael to put an angel of protection literally on the tree, because if that tree fell over, it had about a 75% chance of taking out my house. Okay. So you're not alone, And it's helpful to just remember that you really can ask for help and assistance in all kinds of ways. You can ask for things like for help and assistance to be able to verbalize the right thoughts, to keep your facts straight. There's all kinds of things that you can ask for assistance and help with. And rest assured, the divine beings, the guardian angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, they are all in place to help you. Now, ascended masters. Of late, there has been a lot of information out there sort of making everybody and anybody an ascended master. And I don't kind of hold with that. I feel like an ascended master is somebody who has, first of all, it's somebody who has been on the planet, somebody who has been on Earth, and they have ascended up into the heavens, and there they sit. And from there, they continue to disperse their healing, their love, their protection, whatever. And ascended masters, Jesus, Buddha, Ganesh is wonderful. To help with certain things. So every culture has their ascended masters, and if you're one culture, you can absolutely borrow from another culture, okay? But there's a lot of them out there, and familiarizing yourself with them can give you some real insights into the way that you can draw additional help, assistance, and protection to you. Protection is brought to you mostly by your intentions. In fact, your intentions are really like the base and the foundation for almost all energy work that happens, okay? So setting the intention that you are going to be protected, that your aura is going to be protected, that anything coming at you that is from a lower energy vibration will simply be rejected, pushed away, and sent to the light for transmutation, is protection. It is creating protection around you. One of the things that I just want to mention and point out, because I think sometimes it's just sort of so automatic for us and we don't really think about it. Now, as I was saying, the auras merge, okay? Now, let's say, for example, that you are in a profession where you are touching other people a lot. I'm thinking like of massage therapists, of nurses, of caregivers, teachers who are interacting with small children. Or maybe you're just that person who is kind of really, touchy-feeling and envelops and embraces other people. So when you have had those kinds of experiences, it is really, really important that you just take a moment and shed any energy that you have sort of absorbed or taken in or taken on as a result of the auras merging. And the one that, if you're Reiki Masters or energy healers, are literally trained to ensure that after they do a treatment, they wash like their hands like up to their elbows, literally in cold water. Now the cold water, what it does is if you're a Reiki Master or a Reiki practitioner, it just cools down the hands because generally your hands are very hot. But washing your hands literally with soap and water is a really good way, with intention, of releasing any energy that has attached to you. So the most obvious is somebody is crying, somebody is hurt, and you envelop them and you're holding them, and maybe you're patching up a knee or a skin knee or whatever. It is important you understand that, and doing that you are absorbing part of their energy. So if you're holding somebody who is really grieving, for example, you are actually taking upon yourself some of the grief as you are letting them share it with you. So it's really important that you clear that grief or clear that healing hurt, pain, whatever it is, away from you. And one of the very best ways to do it, especially if you're using your hands at all, is to wash them and release that energy. And if it's just a situation where you're in an environment, for example, let's say you're in a meeting. It could be with coworkers, it could be with a doctor or a lawyer, it could be with friends, family, and things are tense or stressful. Certainly, when you're in that process, if you can, again, go back to the just taking a moment to sort of protect yourself. But you can also absolutely, even in the middle of the process, set the intention that you're surrounded and enveloped by white light, and that any negative or lower energies are going to be not absorbed, but sent to the light for transmutation is really, really super helpful, right? And so then you're not carrying, in some ways, almost energy that isn't yours to carry with you. The other thing I just want to mention, for people out there who are practicing any sort of energy work or any kind of connection outside of their immediate realm, okay? So if you are using a pendulum, for example, or if you are using tarot cards, or if you are trying to communicate with other energy forms, we all have something in place. I refer to it as a gatekeeper, and it is sort of an angel that has been put in place by you at your choosing before you came here, that protects sort of all incoming energy. And your gatekeeper's job is to sort of push back or prevent energies coming at you that are not in your best interest. We all have one. Some of us work very, very closely with our gatekeepers. Some of us don't even know or acknowledge that they're there, but they are there. So they are just yet another being of energy that you can call forward to increase the protection around you. And the last thing I want to talk about is energy vampires. So they literally are people or energies that are trying to vampire your energy. They're trying to take your energy because their energy either isn't enough or isn't working for them, or maybe they're just jealous and they want what you have, and they're trying to absorb that through stealing energy. So I want to share with you the channeled information I received from Masudius when I asked, can you provide some insight into energy vampires? So again, I'm going to put on my little reading specs, and here we go. This was the answer. Insight into energy vampires. The reply. We enjoy the phraseology of your times. In many ways, this is an apt description. Vampires believed to suck your blood, life force, causing harm or death. This in reality is actually very close to what can happen. Let us start. The energy field that surrounds you is known by many names: aura, etheric, soul. Whatever you perceive it or choose to call it, it is indeed the force of your divinity. Within this ever-changing field of energy is that literally which is you, which reflects your essence and which protects. These fields of energy are in a continual state of flux, reflecting all that is you. In some souls, usually dependent on their individual vibration, this energy field can be small, so very close to the body, with a few muddy or murky colors. And the other end of that spectrum is an aura that is large. It extends outside of the physical body for a distance, and it is vibrant energy, with all kinds of colors interacting and all the colors of the color spectrum. That vibrant energy, that vibrant aura is most often a reflection of somebody who has or who is holding a very high vibration. Understand that the higher the vibration, the closer connected one is to one's true essence. And the lower vibration tends to reflect one who is less connected to self. It also can reflect people who are ill, who are weakened in some way. And sometimes that energy also seems to shrink and come closer when you're sort of moving towards the end of your life. So, I lost my place. Okay. There are times when this vampire of energy happens unconsciously. Look to the automatic reflex that happens when you trip and start to fall. You instinctively will reach out to grab for safety. Often, that safety is someone nearby. In that event, or they reach out and grab onto you because they're falling. In that event, the energy taken is very slight and it's not harmful. There is a thank you, you're welcome exchange. As you would say, literally no harm, no foul. There are many times when you consciously and willingly and with blessings share or give your energy. When you offer comfort, healing, understanding, empathy, sympathy, this is one of the desires and instincts of the divine within. Now, then there are the energies, the attacks for energy that are not helpful and they are not blessings. These attacks for energy are driven by lower vibrational energy and ego. So you have what I want. You think that because you have it, I shouldn't have it. Well, I can have it too. You think you're so great. Well, it's time to just show you that you're not all that and I can be just as good as you. Though that kind of negativity, that kind of I want, I deserve, I'm entitled, those lower energies are constantly out there sort of vibrating and looking for somewhere to attach to sort of up their vibrational level. And I'll explain what happens as a result of that. But for right now, understand that that's the energy, that's what is going on with this vampire of energy. Okay. So, make no mistake, these sorts of energy thefts are serious and can be harmful to the one being attacked. You would recognize this as, for example, a sudden feeling of weakness, just a feeling of complete fatigue, a headache that comes on, cold chills. And I want to differentiate. Very often, intuitives will say, oh, I got a chill on that, so it's really accurate. That is not the same as this chill. This is like a cold. It's not an external chill. It's like cold in your soul kind of feeling. There are all kinds of physical and emotional reactions. You can just sort of feel defenseless. You can feel scared. You can... headaches, stomach aches, that random pains in your body that make no sense. Those can all be indicators of somebody who is trying to literally like vampire your energy. With a high vibration, most of us just bounce back and we recover immediately, as we have in place intentions that take this sort of negative attack and automatically send those lower energies to the light for transmutation. And of course, we have other forms of protection in place. Now, There are also attacks that can and do attach. And that attachment can happen in a couple of ways. One, there are cords, literally cords that can be seen going from body to body. Sometimes it is symbols. If somebody like attacks you, and it doesn't have to be a physical attack, this can be an emotional attack, and they're really angry, and you can just see that rage sort of pouring off of them. It's really not unusual to then find that there are symbolic daggers in your heart or in your back, pieces of broken glass. Like it's really amazing what can end up in your field, especially if you are not or have not been protecting it or keeping yourself really well protected. So those symbols are negative energy coming from a source of hate, anger, jealousy, and lower energy. These attachments are also present in unbalanced relationships, where with greed and jealousy, and greed being high on the list of most common. So when you are dealing with people who are jealous of you, who are greedy and they want what you have, that is also where these attacks can come from. Now, these cords and symbols can and often cause physical illness and emotional disturbances in a very real way within your physical body. So if somebody has just, shot daggers into your head, certainly that could result in, a headache, a neck pain. That don't kind of make sense, right? They just sort of come on and they're there. And honestly, sometimes we have these pains within our body that last for years and years and years, and we just sort of incorporate them and just kind of think it's a normal part of who we are, when in fact, they are actually either a cord or some sort of a symbol that has been thrown at you. Now, these things can be removed and healed, and there's a variety of ways to do them. You can cut cords, which is often very effective. Energy healings, using Reiki or other hands-on energy therapy will work. You can use visualization and visualize the fact that there are no cords around you, or any cords that are around you are simply being cut away or disintegrating. And when you're doing that work, you can often call on the archangels to help you, and certainly Michael for protection and Raphael for healing are really important ones that you might want to call forward. And the ascended masters, maybe you're more comfortable calling Jesus to help you, or maybe, other beings that, fall into that ascended master category. Maybe you resonate closer to Buddha or, any of the others. I'm sorry, I'm kind of drawing a blank on some of the names of some of the others you might have noticed. You can simply ask for, prayer. You can ask, you can pray for the release of this stuff. You can ask for divine assistance from higher, beings from the divine realms. They're all effective. They all work. It's a matter of what you're comfortable with and what you kind of feel works for you, if you understand what I mean, right? So what you want to do is, in order for the cords and symbols to be effectively neutralized, you need to be willing and ready to release them. Now, you would think that should be the easiest step. It often is not. Because in order for the attachment to be released, you have to be prepared to heal the situation from its origin. Now, when the origin is, for example, a relationship or a situation that started perhaps with love and hope and promise, it can and will take some effort to let go of it. So, for example, if you are carrying, let's say there was a bad relationship, And, you know, there are cords attached to you, there are symbols attached to you, but there is a part of you that is still not quite ready to release the relationship. It's going to be very hard to break the cords, okay? So you have to be prepared to sort of start that process and be prepared to allow those cords to be cut. Now, in letting go, in letting the old and hurtful go, you are then allowing for a healing to take place and a new vibrational energy to move into place. But you must be ready, as a severed cord can reattach itself in the blink of an eye. And those who have attached are used to receiving sort of that energy feed from you. And they'll work to reconnect it. So let's say, for example, you have just done a cord detachment, and then all of a sudden you get a text or a phone call or a message or something from literally the very person or people or situation that you were just releasing. That is them literally trying to reconnect so that they can reattach. So you need to be kind of mindful of that. Now, the sadness in the whole energy theft experience is this. When energy is stolen from a higher vibration, the lower vibration is not able to speed up to the higher vibration. In the presence of higher, clearer energy, the lower energy cannot jump into the higher vibration. So attempts to draw down this energy to its level create a vibrational imbalance that ultimately doesn't end up serving the purpose. Those souls who often seem to be angry and aggressive and on a roller coaster ride that returns them to the same place over and over again can often be souls who have chosen to attempt to take another's energy instead of clearing their own and moving up to the next energy level, which will lead to the next and the next, as you know, they would continue to heal their vibration. But, you know, sometimes you have souls that are just determined to just take somebody else's because they think that that's a better way to do it. In closing, remember this. Energy is around us all the time. It is love and hope. It is laughter and joy. They ride on that energy. It is the highway of sadness and grief, loss and goodbyes. It is all there is, and all there will always, and all that has always been. It is the stuff of life and the stuff of experience and growth. It is the manifestation of the divine. And it is the beautiful and brilliant you. We remain Masudius. So that's like a really, really lovely message about sort of some basic understandings of the energy that surrounds us and how we interact with the energies that surround us, and how we can protect our own. And while I'm just mentioning that, the other thing that you can do with that protective energy is you can also send it to other people. So you can send that protective energies literally to another country, to another place on the globe, to the peoples of a place or an area. Right now, I'm asking that a lot of energy and protection go to the people of Puerto Rico who are, suffering some really difficult times with earthquakes and so short on the heels of, the hurricanes. You can send them to people at a distance simply by visualizing and just sending it, just saying, go to those people. So there's lots of good that can be done with energy, and you want to make sure that you are protecting yourself from the lower vibrations of energy. Okay. Thank you so very, very much. I'm so glad that this channel is receiving a really awesome response. And I'm so glad that you have found me and are choosing to find out what's going on in this channel and perhaps learn some new and interesting things. Until next time, stand in your power, stand in your light. Bye.